So, guys, this is Internet Historian. The Cost of Concordia. Now, this guy is an absolute mad lad legend. Very entertaining content. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys sub and ring his bell. Hello, Bitus.
The
Cost of Concordia. Who knows if it's too loud?
The Costa Concordia. Ship of dreams of restaurants.
I don't know what Concordia is.
And three-story theatre had hardly been used. Hadn't even been slept in.
Is Concordia a
cost $570 million
Turn it up a bit? Alright.
to build. And you could tell. You could really tell.
A bit loud in my ear, but it should be fine for you guys.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia,
The cruise ship that sank?
and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my god.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type.
Really?
Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January, 2012, on the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding. Especially not when you have a 5-star max-level captain like Francisco Scatino, when he crashed into a port in Sicily.
What?
And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision.
Wait, is that real? What?
I've got a good...
Well, sorry. Is that real?
In 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast.
Is that real? That looks fake.
And caused another collision.
Oh no, it's a scene
I've got
from
a
a movie.
good
Sorry,
feeling
I'm blind.
about this. So let's set the scene.
What the fuck?
It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides. Sail by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Scatino, the
That's a
captain,
dumb
comes
tradition.
into the dining hall with the lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face, because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Scatino eats his dinner with her, and
Why is there a
socializes
time up
for a
top?
little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The
How do
second
these
command orders
people
the
hire
helmsman
them?
to
What the hell?
290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. And again, new...
Sorry I have to pause, but I have to make a point. He's already caused a disaster before. How are they letting him captain this ship again? Oh, not this ship again, but a captain again. It is ridiculous. And his partner here doesn't even speak English. What the hell?
New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms
Oh my God.
325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the
Guys,
captain
what?
should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without
Oh
deviation,
my God.
there is going to be a direct collision.
Turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of
Yikes.
350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340.
Instead of
Captain
350.
snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go.
Oh
But
yeah,
at
I got
this
2
point,
consecutive
even
wins
if
on
they clear
Apex, so I
these
thought I'd
rocks,
end it there.
They need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which
Hey,
seizes
Beatus.
the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10, but the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20, they might just avoid disaster here, maybe, but then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is
Yikes.
hold on as
Hey
the
Pyro,
bow
this
of
is
the ship narrowly
Costa Concordia
passes
by
the
Internet
rocks.
Historian.
Hard to port. The second officer yells, "We're gonna hit!" Collision.
Oh my God. First of all, that guy shouldn't have been hired, and this is also mainly the captain's fault as well. This is ridiculous. What the hell? It's a stupid tradition anyways. Oh my God.
Ad time. Downtown.
Who could have seen that coming? Am I right, guys?
Town. It's day 56 of playing Russian roulette. Seems I
NordVPN man?
never win.
Nord
Want a
man?
drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I got to find him. It's
Yeah, so
hard.
I got 2 consecutive wins back to back on Apex Legends, and I figured that's a good stopping point. So I'm gonna watch some videos for the rest of the night.
The only thing she left was a calling card.
Probably not too long though.
Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN.
It's
can protect
NordVPN,
my
not
online
Raid
data.
Shady Lemons.
Who can protect me from myself? When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie.
Internet Historian has the best ads.
Spread all the way down the block. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be. That's right.
Can I react to
Your
Martin
husband's dead.
Participants The Ultimate Battlefield tier list? Maybe. I have a few videos that people have been requesting, so I'll have to get through those first.
For a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
Guys, visit NordVPN/Internet Historian.
Ad over. The ship hits rocks on the port side.
Bruh.
A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through
Oh
flood.
my god.
22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, the water pumps too, everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of
Get
the rudder.
that guy
Power to
off
that
of the
too
steering.
is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking
What are the chances?
cage.
What the hell? Maybe it is
A
cursed.
few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge panic in the theatre, as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already
Timer
in
on
their
stop, right?
cabins come out and start
I have no
putting
idea.
on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is
I was asking
fine.
that earlier.
There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12,
Oh.
which is jammed.
You're
The captain
kidding.
calls Pilon,
Everything
the
is
chief
going
engineer,
wrong.
as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared.
This
They
is
are
nutty.
going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
You serious?
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation.
Oh my god.
The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore.
How?
Well, how are you going to do that?
There's no power.
You don't have power to the rudder, let
Yeah.
alone the engine. Hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the
Uh-oh.
ship begins to turn anyway,
Uh-oh.
drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
But it's gonna ram right into
A
shore.
panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise, and now the ship is tilted.
This is real?
So,
Real footage?
she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything.
This captain is an incompetent
They're
dude.
saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain
He's
calls
gonna
Roberto Ferrarini again.
potentially cost
Actually,
hundreds
two
of
compartments
lives.
have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this
Just tell
blackout
them the
been
truth so they
going
can
on?
fix it.
About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour
This-
master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on.
This guy
He calls a
needs to
patrol
be
boat the area
fined
and asks
real
them to
hard.
look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks asking
Oh my God.
pointless questions, like, is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master
One man in
calls
denial
again.
can cost hundreds of
Finally, he
lives.
says, the ship
Maybe
is
thousands.
taking on water through an opening in the left side, and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he needs help. Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they
Oh
are
my
not
God.
going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the sea. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong, and
They're
that
gonna
it
get
further
sued.
endangered
Oh,
lives.
I bet they got
Most
sued out
passengers
the
at
ass.
this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feeds from
Yeah,
the bridge.
yeah, it's leaning.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. So they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, no, stay. We're
Stay
leaving.
and die with you?
So what do we
You
do?
nuts?
General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship! Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside.
Oh my God, this is like
The Livorno Coast
Pure
Guard calls
incompetence.
again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue.
how much time
operations.
wasted?
They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven
Yeah, I
center
thought
of
so.
gravity.
I said that
And
earlier.
it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out. And with that,
This is insane.
and now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the
This
ship
guy.
is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying.
He needs his certifications revoked. He's insane.
The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless.
What was the point of that?
The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up
What
and
a
starts
hero.
helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit.
Wow.
Priority.
So he doesn't want to be caught as the
Dimitri
captain?
Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him.
Basically, he wants to
The
sneak
maitre d'
out
and Simone
after his
both get out of
botched.
there. By this point,
job.
approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Mille reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive.
It's like everything
but
that could have gone
they're struggling
wrong
to
is
find
going
the ship
wrong.
because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
Oh my God.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor.
This is extreme nutty.
Yes.
Is not allowed to make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops heeling and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learnt that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. Ooh, I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on,
Dude,
so it's not
am
gonna be
I
super accurate.
am I wrong? Isn't the captain supposed to be one of the few people that should leave the boat last to ensure that all the passengers are safe first before he actually abandons the ship? This is nutty. The guy's actually trying to sneak away.
But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life.
Man, he deserves
Port
it.
authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship.
That's what I was saying.
Captain. We were the last to leave the ship.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin.
Wow.
The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director.
Oh no.
In the end, 32 people died. The final body
What?
wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship.
The captain
The
should be
Costa
held
Concordia
accountable for all
was
of this.
the largest cruise ship disaster
Holy
since the
crap.
Titanic. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Man, what a disaster. I want to know what happens to the captain. I hope he gets the worst. He should be sentenced. Along with whoever hired that guy that didn't speak English. Or Italian or whatever. Wasn't he heavily underqualified as well? It's ridiculous.
Is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in.
Why?
There they are. The deets.
Okay, dude. Looting? You're kidding.
Blue box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive
Greed
fittings.
still finds its
And there were
way.
plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone.
Oh my
Within
god.
days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists. As well as
Too
the
mad.
iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell?
Yeah,
Even the
what the
server
fuck?
admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A
Wow.
patrol boat was dispatched.
How
and the men were
embarrassing.
caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching.
Yeah,
Later
deserved.
on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Oh my god. Stop. This is... Oh my...
I know you want to see Scatino
People
go
are
to jail,
gross.
and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Dominika Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Yikes.
Media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure
She looks
mounted
crazy,
on
dude.
her,
Crazy
she began
eyes.
making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh?
What?
And what was that package? Drugs, apparently. So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right.
Again,
sex
the
with
captain should be the last to leave.
Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin, where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing, as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up,
busted.
but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony. The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up,
Drama Alert Nation?
No, cheated on his wife with Seymour Tan. Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems.
What?
And today I died the second
yeah,
time.
like I said, she's crazy.
Because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
How about those
Subsequent
32
to the
people who
trial,
died?
She used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
What about those 32 people who lost their lives? You're not a hero. You're the problem.
It was some stuff about victims' violence,
what the hell,
women's
dude?
rights,
Girl power?
yada yada yada. And interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia. Sure. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god,
Uh-oh. Guys, stop it. Stop with the...
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere.
Yeah,
they
and
allowed
lives.
him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure,
Sorry,
the
guys.
CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship
Cowards, all of them.
was,
Shifting blame.
taking at the time. And
God
was
forbid anyone take
not
any
only taking,
amount of
but
accountability.
The ship was
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
Yeah, you think?
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
Yeah, let's pay
This
people
was
the
to
least
reimburse
amount of
them for
money
their tickets,
after
as well
causing
as
the
any
most amount of
costs they
damage.
accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And and that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident.
No.
I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult.
It is an insult.
The passengers went through. We think that the compensation being
How much
offered
time
is
he
not
wasted as well.
Take it. Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not
It is criminal,
Civil
though.
suits against the company continue.
It's actually
By the way,
so nutty.
The residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused
It's like rich people can just get away with anything, huh?
joined civil parties against Schettino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Unbelievable. Oh, stop it. Oh my god. Of
New York
course.
attorney Peter Renee travelled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways. Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth? This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Ahoy hoy, it was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on
Nice scammers.
Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle! And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure me leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat.
Come on, Petey.
Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
Are you kidding me? Yikes. Easy scammers. Oh no, please stop. So cruel. Vada a bordo?
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course! Get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Schettino to go down with the ship.
Emo.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just
Unbelievable.
DeFalco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most
Man, he is a
Italians who were
hero.
tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, DeFalco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
DeFalco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to,
What?
and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. DeFalco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other
Egos,
hand,
are you
his boss
serious?
said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers, and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career.
Wow.
Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, DeFalco said buenas noches, ya later, to
They
the
don't deserve
Italian
him.
Navy to become a politician.
Yeah, they don't
In
deserve
March
him.
that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
Congratulations, dude. Oh, stop it.
The
That's
day
it.
after the disaster, Scatino
Jail
was
time.
taken into custody by police and underwent questioning.
What's
However, it was
free
clear that
YouTube
this
music?
would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Hold on, I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship,
Is he really that
this dude is
charismatic?
determined to abandon his wife as well.
What the fuck?
So, Scatino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Scatino's.
Yeah.
And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Scatino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvio were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
Considering the
And that meant that
major
Scatino
fuck
was
up,
now
yeah.
all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Scatino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge. That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta.
Wow.
And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped it again, and he hasn't been found since.
Wow,
After
are you
that,
kidding me?
Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Scatino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
I feel like that's still a little short,
But wait,
considering
there's
he
still the
costed
appeals.
lives.
The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected. So
Okay.
Scatino's lawyers
Thank God.
appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Scatino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal, but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for
He's a
Scatino to be
sleazeball.
sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a Titanic affair.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Scatino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
Deserved. Deserved longer sentence, in my opinion. Oh my god. Linus ship tips.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion.
All of that because of him.
Beginning in early 2012,
He deserves much
spent
worse.
2 months
Longer
pumping fuel
sentences.
from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin.
To do all that.
That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper.
Are you kidding me?
Flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
Oh, before he went to prison. Okay. Unbelievable.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea.
Oh yeah, someone stole the bell.
And as for you, little fella,
you're coming with me.
Well, it's time to return you.
Ah.
From whence you came.
Wait, he stole the bell.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out.
Check.
Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3, if you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4, there are a couple secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5, no more 45-minute videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them. 6, there's a Q&A coming out next week on incognito mode. It's got a ton of detail that we had to cut for the sake of brevity and will no doubt feature a ton of corrections as well. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Internet Historian. Spicy. Thank you, Internet Historian. So that was great. I enjoyed that. That was very informational. I did not even know about the ship incident. Yikes. Ah, stop.